I probably look like an asshole with my Colombian cap. Talking about Colombia.
That's not what makes you look like an asshole.
Ah, fuck. It's my nose. I knew it.
All right. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching the first episode, and this is going to be the second episode. Breaking it up into two pieces. So,
yeah.
One thing here, it's on everybody's mind when they think of Colombia. They think of drugs from the States. Honestly, when you tell a lot of people about Colombia, they're going to have stereotypes. Drugs, women. And I want to jump more into the women part, because that's a huge part of the culture. Looks, beauty are just hand in hand with Colombian women. That's just part of the culture here, yeah? Especially in Medellin. I don't know so much about the other cities, but here in Medellin, looks are everything. And that's really the way a lot of people here think. Even with the guys go get their nails manicured, well taken care of, especially the women. There's a lot of, how do you say, Brazilian butt lifts here, like fake ass here. And it's coming from the States. You don't really see that. Like you're used to fake tits, but fake ass that's a very Colombian thing to have. You know? Not every girl has it, but it's common. Like
you see it like at least once a day.
You see it at least, if not several times per day. You know, and if you've never seen them, sometimes it's different. It's different. Sometimes they look better than others. It really depends.
I've had some good laughs about it.
Yeah, but even with that, with looks, everything, women here, I feel like they're a lot more approachable. They're more fun, energetic. The way I think the culture in general is just more happy, go free, go lucky type of a culture, and that's really great if you want to get away and you want to relax. And you just want to enjoy life for what life is, you know? Like, people here have a quality of life that in the States, it's not the same. People don't just stop and go get coffee with you and talk about yesterday and tomorrow and their days, you know? Like, in the States, we don't really slow down. Once in a while, but it's the predominant mindset in the States: go get money, go get a house, go get a car, look at me. And here, it's with the looks, it's look at me, but with the lifestyle, it's not really like that. It's a lot more slowed down. It's more of like
family relationships, friends have a very important.
That's in the States, I mean, family is important too, but it's not the same. Like, at least not in my family. I don't know, but it's every week. Like, for instance, if you're born here in Colombia, you usually live with your family up until
quite late,
30, 40, sometimes 50.
Sometimes never leaving the house.
That's just very common here, yeah?
Yep.
And granted, these houses, well, I don't know, some houses are bigger than others, like so your living situations could be different. But it's just more of a common situation here, yeah?
Absolutely.
And with the women, they're more open, they're more friendly. As far as like going up and approaching them, I've noticed they're a lot more engaged. You know, they're more curious. I think that helps when you're a foreigner anywhere, but it doesn't hurt you here for sure. You know, and then you go to the clubs and a dance is just a dance here. I like that. I like that.
No matter how sensual and whatever happens.
Exactly. Like
it's just a dance.
There's several types of dancing here. You know, you got everything from salsa all the way to twerking and everything else in between. And a dance is just a dance here. You could go talk to the most beautiful girl. She's not going to turn you down. She's going to want to dance, actually.
Nah, you get turned down a lot, but you get green lights.
Maybe that's a you problem.
Maybe it's from my half.
Okay, so sure. Every now and then you're going to get turned down. But in my experience, like going in the States, I went to a few country bars. And it's country dancing, which is not very sexual.
Yeah, it's a very different vibe.
And still, you have women that turn you, like half of the women turn you down, and it's like, well, what are you here for? You know, that's not only been my experience. Trust me, I got game.
You knew I was going to say something about it.
No, but like I've heard this from several other people too. I've been with other people and I've seen it with my own eyes.
Show me.
Video evidence, or it didn't happen. No, but in the States it's more common to get turned down, and then out here I feel like it's a lot more. Your percentage is a lot higher.
And sometimes they even out of politeness. They won't turn you down. They still dance with you, but you feel she doesn't really want to. But she's still doing it to not.
But they still dance. That's
Yeah.
They still want to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes no. Like I had some instances. Again, maybe it's a me problem. I had some instances where the girl actually I invite her out and she dances with me, and I could sense she didn't really want to, but she was doing it just to be polite.
Well, it's a social thing as well.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you also have the situation that I had, which was really funny. So the girl is there with the boyfriend. You invite her out, not always noticing there's a boyfriend, and you can still dance with her. Even though the boyfriend is steaming and cooking inside, you can see that. She's still dancing with you, and like not like holding hands like this, but like really dancing, like twerking and stuff.
Well,
and that's the thing that would never happen in Europe. That would be cheating in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be like, what are you doing? It's gonna cause an argument.
Yeah, that would be a fight.
There might be a breakup. Who knows? Over here, like I can attest. This past weekend, me and my other friend went to Provenza, and we were out. We were just minding our own business. Actually, like we were sitting down at a table, like this, not really a club, but like there's. I don't know how to explain it. There's a bunch of hole-in-the-wall spots here where they serve beer and they blast their music as loud as they can. And it's cool, but everybody's dancing, having a good time. So we went to a spot like that. Table and chairs similar to this. We're just sitting down. Our friend gets up. He starts dancing by himself. You know, he's feeling himself, feeling good. And so I'm just over there like sipping my beer. I'm not really a dancer in the first place, so I don't know. It's not really my scene, but I still like it. I like the environment and everything. And my friend's dancing, have a good time. These two girls just come up and they're like. They kind of caught me off guard because they spoke English, but nonetheless they were Colombian, and they were like, "Hey, why are you sitting over here being by yourself? And why aren't you dancing, having a good time?" I was like, "I don't know. That's a great question." And so like they invited me to go dance with them, and
that's awesome.
They're over there. Well, they were invited. They were dancing with my friend too, dancing with everybody, right? And so yeah, they're dancing, they're twerking, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're like, "Hey, buy us shots." Keep in mind, this is my first rodeo here, so I'm like, "Nah, you guys. I know you guys have boyfriends somewhere." And sure enough, they did. They like, I don't know, because they were dancing with other guys before, so it was like, that's probably their boyfriends, you know? Sure enough, that was their boyfriends, but that's just more common down here. Like, it just happens. I don't know. And they're not afraid to twerk and do this and that, you know? And the guys are right there, and it's like, okay. So if you come down here with a jealousy mindset, your little heart's going to get broken a lot, because these girls... The culture in general is just very, very different. So you got to keep that in mind if you're coming down here. Because it is fun. Yeah. You're going to have the time of your life, especially if you're a single guy. Single guy in your 20s, 30s, this is really a cool spot to be.
I think Colombia in general, I haven't traveled to any other Latin American country yet, but I think Colombia has like a lot to offer. You can spend a lifetime here and not be done with everything.
Well, I think so. In terms of women, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of getting out in nature, there's so many different hikes, many different waterfalls.
Food, every city has like
food.
Their own.
Yeah, the food, and also the food here is so fresh and amazing and great. You know, they don't need to sell it organic because it just is. Yeah, and there's so much like on the street every day. There's somebody selling you fruits, vegetables. You know, you go to the local market.
What about street food? Meat. Like in many places in the world, it's like. There's like a recommendation not to eat street food.
Yeah.
You've been doing quite a lot of street food here in Medellin, no?
I live off chuzo de pollo, as I've said before. Yeah. So I love.
You live off you live off chicken's dick.
I love that. I love it. I would marry it if I could. Okay.
That's also one of the richnesses of this country is the way they play on language. I haven't seen any other country that plays that much with language. It's insane.
How do you mean?
Like some words have like 5 different meanings just in the context, and they invent words and combine. And
there's a local phrase here. Well, there's several, but gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, and you say that when you're happy, when you're angry. You say it for whatever. Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of fuck in English.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you just say it, and people. It sounds similar to gonorrhea. Or how do you say the STD?
Gonorrhea. But that's like the sickness. The sexually like transmitted disease.
But here it does not mean the same thing, and it's just a common phrase that people use all the time here, you know? So there's a lot of play on words. Spanish is the language of love just in general, but here specifically, the way they talk, like if you go talk to women, they're gonna say "ay mi amor," like "hello my love." You know, they're very flirtatious about it without even thinking about it. It's just
part of the culture.
It's just part of the culture.
When you get here the first couple of times, you have to get used to that, because many guys think, oh, she's calling me my love, my king, mi rey. And just a random waitress, or like the toilet lady. she greets you like mi rey.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay.
That was a bit of a culture shock for me, because I'm not used to people talking to me that way. And they're very direct with it, you know. And it's cool. It's beautiful. After a while, you start really, I'm gonna start calling you my queen, my love as well. You know, you start.
They also call you mi cielo.
Mi cielo.
But that's like, more common to call a woman mi cielo than the man. My sky.
Yeah. Well, my heaven, my sky. I don't feel like I'm still learning to adapt these phrases, especially when you hear it. It's like mi amor. You just kind of say that to whoever you're talking to, if it's a woman, and vice versa.
I had an issue with that with a girl.
Well, how do you mean?
I started dating her, and she got a bit irritated at me because she called me mi amor, this and that, and I wouldn't reciprocate, because in Europe you say my love, my sugar, my baby. Is that when you're in a relationship after a while?
Yeah, you have
not when you start dating, like kind of like immediately calling you my love, my this, my that. That was just weird to me.
Yeah.
So I had to adapt, because it would irritate her that I wouldn't reciprocate.
I think so, me as well. Being in previous relationships here, it's like so much love to give right away, and that's very different than a Western mindset, you know, because like Western women in general are like more of a pursuit, and there's more of, you don't phrase things the same way, so therefore it's not as strong. But over here, I feel like from personal experience, the relationship is strong right away, and the love language is there right away, and that's
can be overwhelming.
It can be very overwhelming.
Can be like, whoa, what does she want from me?
Yeah, it makes you like take a step back. Like, okay, wait a second. Why are you acting this way? Is it because of me? Is it because I have things to offer?
Suspicions,
you know, and yeah, who knows? But that's just part of the culture here in general.
It is part of the culture. I mean, every day older ladies just flirt.
Even the older ladies.
Like you go buy a random banana or something, and the cashier is an older lady who's quite happy in that moment, and she starts flirting with you, making jokes and like looking and winking at you, like literally winking and smiling and like checking you out.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. You know, should I make a move? What do I do?
Right, your Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh fuck no! No. My phone number, my phone number, not my smartphone number.
Yeah. What's your WhatsApp? But also, with that being said, I feel like you could just go talk to most women and get their WhatsApp very easily. Like they're going to give it out. Specifically here in Medellin.
It's especially Instagram. WhatsApp, not always.
Okay, but with that being said, Paisas are notorious for being flaky. You could go meet a beautiful girl, you could match with 100 girls on Tinder, whatever. The odds of you sealing the deal and getting the dates with these girls is a lot more difficult than in the States. Like if you're very forward in the States, you go get a girl's number, you're saying, hey, I think you're attractive, whatever, let's go have fun. It's like, okay, you know, you shoot them a text 2-3 days later, you're on a date, you're out on a date. Here, you do that, you got it. I feel like you really have to put in work in order to get a date. Specifically with Medellin girls, like it's more of an effort because, well, I don't know why. Actually,
I think it's the flakiness. You say we see it as flakiness; they see it as a daily life, in the sense that they make tons of plans and then they just pick out the ones that are most
ones that stand out, of course.
Stand out or more practical, or whatever reason, man. I mean, sometimes, yeah, the flakiness is crazy here. Crazy.
one thing to touch along those lines is consideration for time here. We were talking about this last night, you know, whether it's going on a date, whether it's meeting up with friends, whether it's you have this thing planned. People will tell you a time, and, you know, coming from Western countries, it's like, okay, this is the time, you got to be there. We're going to go out and do this thing.
There's a step. Like, it goes even farther than just arriving late. It's people telling you they're on their way.
Yeah.
They're in the taxi or whatever, and they're actually not. They're lying.
Yeah.
They're not on the way. And they're not planning.
Not ready.
They're not even planning to come, but they tell you, I'm on my way.
Just to, for whatever reason. It's just
to not say no.
Yeah.
Because no is too confronting, too direct.
Yeah. There's a sense to please here. And I think with the time frame, like you say, okay, we're gonna go on this date at 7 o'clock tonight. You get out, you show there like 5-10 minutes early, you know, like most people do, especially in the States. You're ready. You're sitting there, you're having a drink. Oh, 15 minutes goes by. Okay, no big deal. 30 minutes goes by. Let me text her. An hour goes by. You coming or not? Like, what's the deal? 2 hours goes by. I'll be right there. 3 hours goes by. Maybe they show up. This is more of a common thing that happens here, I think, you know?
Totally.
And even with going on excursions, I think you told me you had an excursion here a couple months ago. And you were supposed to meet people at 9 a.m.?
It was 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
And they were like, yeah, 7 a.m. So we started early. And they showed up like around, all of them, at around 9.
So how many people were there, just to get context?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. And this was like a plan, like a group type of deal?
Yep.
And
I was there standing at 7 a.m.
to show up at 9, but you.
It's not even that they knew, it's just like, yeah, they kind of know. They didn't like conspire to.
They don't talk about it, they just know, like, oh, 7 o'clock? We'll do 9 o'clock. But 7 o'clock means 9 o'clock.
But then sometimes you get surprised because there is a time being arranged, a time being set up, and you think, yeah, well, I mean, I'm used to this now, I'll get there 2 hours later.
Yeah.
And surprise, surprise, it was meant to be, this time was meant to be different.
And then they get mad. They have a double standard about it.
Yep,
Honestly, I've had this happen.
Exactly. And then I'm just like, you start fuming. You're just like,
just let it go. Take a deep breath.
Exactly.
Let it go.
It is funny, but you gotta be firm. That's what I mean, this might sound bad and shit, but sometimes you gotta teach people. Like, no, this is my standard, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be there. If you're not, and you don't notify me because they don't notify, you gotta leave, because otherwise they don't learn. This sounds bad, I know, but they don't learn. Like, in the sense, like we have things to learn. Most people here too. Being on time is like, or at least notifying when you're gonna be late, because they don't do that.
Well, I think that's just like a respect factor, like for your personal time. Because, all right, you're going to be an hour, 2 hours late, fine.
We see that as respect.
Yeah.
Most people here don't. Just like,
it's just like
respect,
it's common, yeah.
Respect has a very different origin and practice and definition. And
yes,
respect would be not confronting somebody in public. Or not being too confronting. That would be respect, and lack of respect would be you're too direct. That's not respectful.
Yeah.
Whereas, but I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, some aspects of Western culture are too extreme. Some aspects of Latino culture are too extreme. I think like a middle ground would be amazing.
Yeah, of course, with everything. Yeah, you know, like if you come from the East Coast in the States, people are very direct. They're going to tell you to your face, "Fuck you, get out of my way," you know. And here, you say that to somebody, and they're gonna be taken aback. They're gonna be appalled if you say something like that.
They could start fights because you kind of humiliated them.
Yeah.
In public.
It's very, very different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking, I ran out of shit to say.
Huh?
I ran out of shit to say.
Well, let's get back to women, I guess, because we were starting like with dating.
That's always a good concept, yeah. I'm gonna cut this part out anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's about dating. I would say it's easier to get Instagrams and numbers. But like we said before, the amount of flakiness to actually get on a date is crazy insane.
So
for very different reasons, very like variety of reasons. Whereas, in Europe, I don't know about the States. In Europe, I guess it's more difficult to get a number on Instagram. Most girls will say no outright and not budge.
Yeah, that's very.
But once you get on a date, the probability to get intimate and stuff is much higher.
I feel like once you're on the first date, that's you're good.
Once you get a number, there's a higher chance something is gonna happen. You're gonna get to first, second base, and etc. Whereas here it's the opposite. It depends. It really depends on the type.
I think also like speaking Spanish is a big deal. When I first got here, I didn't speak Spanish, and I went on several dates without speaking Spanish. I actually ended up getting in a relationship, and it was funny. Through that time, my Spanish progressed a lot, and that was great to teach me Spanish. But it's funny because you really get to know people in a different way if you don't speak the language, and of course you're gonna pick up on some things. So that could be a fun adventure for somebody who wants to come down here, learn Spanish, meet new people. And just live a fun lifestyle because it was super fun, you know.
So it makes everything more spontaneous.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably more difficult with some aspects.
So this time around, I have a better Spanish base. I want to test this theory out, see how people, specifically women, react to me when I speak Spanish to them. Clearly, they're gonna know I'm still foreign, but I can get by in Spanish, and I want to see how they react when I don't speak any Spanish, and I don't even pretend that I know a bit of Spanish. I want to see what the different encounters are going to be.
I'm going to follow you through in that.
Yeah, well,
I can pretend easy.
Yeah, he wants to. We're going to make an experiment and see what happens.
Yep.
You know, I'll bring you guys along. I'm going to record these probably, just because why not, and document the experiences. That way we can see. No idea what's going to happen, but it's going to be funny either way.
Yeah. Yeah, what can we say more, man? I'm also kind of like.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your support, love, and I'll see you guys next episode. Peace.
Bye-bye.